Life's a game, the world's a stage, and we are merely role-players where theatrical people play role-playing games. I'm Matt Boothman and I'm your compere. Come with me, your seats are this way. So, here on Merely Role-Players, we improvise stories to entertain ourselves and also yourselves. And we use role-playing games to keep those stories going places even we can't see coming, because as theatrical people, we're all about maximum drama at all times. This is Act 1 of Her Many Masks, one of our studio productions. The studio is where we experiment with different formats, different role-playing games, and different genres of story. In this production, we're telling the story of an epic fantasy journey using the second edition of For the Queen, a storytelling card game of love, betrayal, doubt, and devotion, designed by Alex Roberts. You don't need to be caught up on anything else we've produced to jump into Her Many Masks. In fact, all our productions tell a complete story, so if you enjoy this one and you want to try something else we've done, just find any episode with Act 1 in its title and you'll be able to jump aboard there. Starting now, we'll release a new act of Her Many Masks every other week, and to keep you going through the weeks in between, we'll release Backstage episodes that give you a peek behind the scenes. So stay tuned for the first one of those next week. In the meantime, please take your seats in the studio. Tonight's production is about to begin. Her Many Masks. A Merely Role-Players studio production. Act 1 of 3. Let's meet our players for this studio production. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello everybody, I'm Josh. You may remember me from Vigil, Tailor-Made.
Hello, my name is Alexander Pankhurst. You will have last heard me in Vigil, Fear Itself.
Hi, I'm Ellie, and you will most recently have heard me on Vigil, Tailor-Made.
Hello, I'm Marta Da Silva, and you will have last heard me in Vigil, Chief Exec.
I am still Matt Boothman, and I'm introducing myself now because I'm a player in this production as well. Because this is a game without a GM.
Yes.
No gods, no game masters in this game we're playing. We're playing For the Queen.
For the Queen!
A game designed by Alex Roberts, and we're playing the second edition published by Critical Role's Darrington Press. In a very, very nice reprinting of all the cards. Let's learn how to play the game. None of you have played the game before.
No.
None of you have read any rules.
No.
This is a very simple game designed to be learned at the table, and they even give you all the rules on a set of very nice cards.
Which is to say, if we are terrible at this, it's on us. We're just done.
Oh, but also, though, we've only just heard about the rules, so...
Fair.
So maybe,
So get good.
maybe both ways make us look bad.
It's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah,
Great.
Setting expectations early in the game.
The bar is low, it's all right, like it.
I'm illiterate.
Well,
We're just pleased that you're here, Alex.
Thank you.
let's find out. We'll read these cards and we'll see whether we've still got any questions afterwards.
Okay.
Go around the table clockwise, taking turns reading these cards aloud.
The land has been in turmoil for as long as any of you have been alive.
The Queen has decided to undertake a long and perilous journey to broker an alliance with a distant power.
The Queen has chosen all of you and no one else to be her retinue and accompany her on this journey.
She chose you because she knows that you love her.
Special snowflakes.
You are welcome to look through the illustrated cards for inspiration. If there is one that players are drawn to, display it on the table to represent your queen. We have already chosen our queen. We have developed our queen using the referenced illustrated cards, and you can hear us going through that process in next week's Backstage episode.
Oh, look at us, ahead of the game. Find the card that reads, "The Queen is under attack, do you defend her?" and remove it from the question card deck. Then shuffle the remaining question cards and place them face down in the centre of the table.
The cards are shuffled and they are face down in the centre.
We are killing it. Oh my god.
Place the card that reads, "The Queen is under attack. Do you defend her?" randomly into the middle of the question card deck for a game that lasts about an hour, or into the bottom third of the deck for a game that lasts about 2 hours.
Okay, let's go for a longer game for this session. So would someone like to cut the deck for me?
Certainly.
And you might think, why don't we just put it on the bottom and have the longest possible game? Because then we'd know when it was coming. It's got to be a surprise.
When you have read the rules cards, take turns drawing question cards and reading them aloud. Interpret your card and answer it however you wish.
Other players may ask you questions or make suggestions on your turn, but whether you answer those questions or include these suggestions is entirely up to you.
Place the X card somewhere everyone can easily reach it. It's right by the mic. If you hear a bump on the audio, it's probably because someone touched the X card.
If you encounter a question or an answer that you don't want to be included in the game, tap the X card. That content is removed from the game.
Safety, very important.
Cool.
If you want an audio instead of the X, I have a bell.
Oh, we could use a bell.
Please.
I also have a honker horn.
Oh, I know
I
which one
kind
I
of
want.
like that one.
But it's really loud. Okay.
Oh my god.
You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Right, and then I've got...
That's pleasant.
That's pretty
Yeah.
Time at the bar.
What, end of playtime?
Last order.
Yeah.
Same thing, really.
Yeah.
If you draw a card that's removed in this way, by yourself or by someone else, simply draw another card and continue your turn as usual.
You can also choose not to take a turn on any round. To do so, say pass. The next player can answer the question you drew or draw a new one as they prefer.
Continue answering question cards until the Queen is under attack card is drawn.
Each player should answer that question in turn. Then the game is over.
And finally, whoever wants to can draw the first question card.
Yeah, so
There you go.
Yeah.
You can reach them easy, so...
True.
For the listeners, Josh looks perplexed.
He looks a little stumped.
Okay. I accept the question.
Ooh.
Okay.
Read us the question, Josh.
When was the last time the Queen was gentle with you?
Oh. Phrasing.
The Queen is quite an icy individual to me. I've known her for a long time, and I feel she's always been quite a strong, domineering personality, even when she was younger and in line to become the Queen. The last time that she was gentle with me, because I've known her for so long, was the day before it was announced that she would become the Queen.
Mm.
When she became the Queen, it all changed. No more gentleness. Only an icy stare.
May I ask? Well, I may ask. You may not answer if you don't want to. In what way was she gentle? Like, what was the relationship set up?
Like I say, I think there was a warmth, there was a kindness. I think I'm the Queen's younger sister. And so I think that there was, an older sister vibe looking after me as the younger sister when we were growing up. But like I say, that moment that our father or mother passed away or abdicated or whatever it might have been, that's when it changed. And there was no longer...
It was no longer big sister, it was Queen.
I feel she was ruling with an iron fist and was especially harsh on her own family.
What is the most difficult part of this journey? What makes you so adept at overcoming it? I think the most difficult part of the journey that we're on to broker a peace with a distant power is remaining hidden. I think we're travelling through this very large-scale landscape. We feel very small among the ruins and natural features, mountains, walls, ruins, and things like that we're travelling through. And there are great, monstrous entities, bandits on the road, all those sorts of things. And so, because we're travelling with the Queen is very important. We don't want to be fighting our way every step of this journey. So the decision has been made to be as quiet and stealthy and unobtrusive as possible. And that is the most difficult thing to maintain throughout the journey. Because I think there is something about the Queen that is hard to hide. She has, whether it's visible or not, some sort of aura, some sort of halo that calls out to some of the beings of this landscape.
An inner glow, you'd say.
Yeah. And what makes me so adept at overcoming it, I know some form of magic that can cloak this.
Okay.
This is one, other than my love for the Queen, I have skills also that she appreciates.
You're multifaceted now. You're not a himbo. Do you know what I mean? She's not just, you're not there for looks. You've got stuff going on
That's
up
just the
here.
boy toy. Actually, yes, his uses.
Yeah, I'm not just here because of my feelings. I'm here because of my skills and my actions and the things that I know how to do. And I've been trained extensively in this specific magical art.
Okay.
That's what makes me so adept at overcoming it.
Your job is cloaking.
Cloaking.
My job is to keep up some sort of cloaking ward or shield or something like that around the Queen so that she is not a magnet for danger on this journey.
Did you sign up for this position, or were you sought after?
In the whatever level of the nobility I was born into, it is tradition for the second child to go into this kind of arcane ministry.
Their version of the church. Yeah.
First child tries to make a marriage match. Second child becomes a wizard.
Yeah.
Third goes into the military, is that? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Something
Fourth
like
for
that.
sorrow,
Yeah.
bird in the hand.
Yeah. So I
Two
was
in the bush.
Maybe.
this is the path I've been on since I was born. Because I was born second, this is what I was going to be doing.
Wow.
The path to actually become this specifically to the Queen and be this close to her is a different matter. But learning these arts is something I was born for.
We are travelling through our own kingdom towards this. Like, are we traversing other places between us and whoever we are trying to create an alliance with? You know, because the choice of being stealthy as opposed to like a big royal retinue moving through, you know, if it was your own country. So I'm just curious about the situation of the actual journey.
Interesting. I like the idea that even the parts of the lands that we're travelling through that technically belong to our Queen are still hostile and hazardous. Like it's this kind of broken, fallen, dark, sunless land.
This is your responsibility.
Maybe it's her fault. Maybe it's her family's fault. Who
Potentially
knows?
there's just people, who don't support her.
I mean, if I lived next to monsters, excuse me, and my French, fuck the Queen, you know? Like, what are you doing about this?
Yeah. Or she might want it to be a secret that she's going on this mission.
Fair. These questions. What do you do for the Queen that no one else could? That's a very good question. Just looking at the photograph of her having no face, and I feel that I'm the one that makes sure but I feel that she's quite high maintenance, and there are some specifics about her person that can be quite off-putting and distressing to look at for regular human beings, and I feel that I'm in charge of making her look her best, as in alive and vaguely like a person. So yeah.
It's kind of like a really intense lady-in-waiting position.
Yeah. You know those people that do the corpse makeup?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just for some... Yeah. But for the Queen.
So macabre.
And to be clear, the image that Martha's referring to is one of the Queen illustrations where her face, her human visage, is slightly separate from her actual head, and the skull is visible beneath it.
So you're like your head of hair and makeup.
Yeah, and then I make her look all beautiful and cool, you know. So I just carry around all the pots and paints and veils and fabrics and all kinds of like weird... I have like a whole kit, and no one really knows what's in there, but it's all very expensive.
So do you think that... So we're going to this distant land to broker a deal. You're obviously needed to be there to mask her otherworldliness.
Yeah.
Presumably the other land doesn't know about her undead fallen angel side, which is why you're here.
I think there might be some rumours about it, and it's something that certainly could be used to instill fear in your enemies, etc. But I believe most of the time the Queen probably prefers to present herself as a living human, unless, you know, she can use her real form in her favour. So even just for the journey itself, in case we come across people, so they don't immediately want to kill us and burn us alive because, monster.
Why?
And also, like, maybe psychological support, you know? Everyone needs, like, a friend.
Yeah.
And if they can do your makeup, even better.
Hype person.
Yeah.
Why can no one else do it?
Very much like your character, I feel like this is a very, like, niche specialist profession, and it's quite taboo as well. Because it's one thing to do it on people that are actually dead, and it's another thing to do it on someone who is not. I was not part of the nobility. I feel like I was one of these, like, rescued children just from some orphanage or something who was trained to do this specifically and just given nothing else to do with their life. That's essentially my role.
Is your status irrevocably changed from having touched the Queen's true face?
There might be side effects from hanging out with this Queen, clearly. But I do feel it's one of those things where you're both elevated because you're in a very intimate like relationship with the Queen, but at the same time you're a pariah. Like you exist outside of society.
If the Queen didn't exist, you would be so far removed and ostracised from everywhere else.
Pretty much.
Don't look at her, that's the face toucher.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some parallels to be drawn somewhere around, like Alex was saying, your kind of hair and makeup for the film Face Off with John Travolta and Nick Cage. Like there's a whole face transplant situation going on.
Yeah. Maybe I need to get faces from places.
Ooh.
Yeah, face places.
Faces from places.
Gross.
Do you have a Queen who changes her face?
Oh, well, like in
Different masks with different expressions.
like in Return to Oz, she has different heads.
Ooh.
Yeah, the kind of evil ruler there has different heads that she wears for different occasions.
Yeah, I feel like maybe she's the mask Queen for a reason.
So are we going to fetch more masks from this distant land? Is there a second reason?
She wants a face that looks a little bit happier because the one she's got is
She
just
gets
slightly
and she's like,
quizzical. Yeah.
Hello, come in peace.
Just grin.
Just like a really creepy Joker grin, like, hi.
The Queen of Smiles.
Totally natural.
No, okay, I'm going to go with it. When did you know you were in love with the Queen?
Oh.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Josh.
I'm really looking forward to the answer.
I began my working life in the royal kitchens. And so I used to catch glimpses of the Queen as I was growing up. And then when I was a teenager, there was an incident. I was bringing up food for the Queen, special Queen food, when some kind of vagabond managed to break their way into the castle. They were attempting to get to the Queen, and I was about to be collateral damage in their quest. But the Queen intervened in warrior form and saved me, dispatched the vagabond.
Mm.
So that is when I knew I was in love with the Queen.
When you say dispatched, did the Queen fully kill this vagabond in front of you?
He dead. His blood spattered across my face.
Oh.
Have you held on to that memory, and do you still think of that
Do you
moment?
keep those clothes and hug them tight at
Have you never washed your face since?
I think
Did you get a tattoo of the blood splatter?
I think what actually happened was it was a really obviously formative experience, and I made a career change as a result, and managed to train myself up with the Royal Guards in combat.
I mean, if you're a cook, you're good with knives.
Yeah,
So
and I it turned out I had a really strong natural ability for fighting, particularly with knives, and that's probably why I'm in this party, because I can both cook and fight,
And you love the Queen.
and I'm in love with the Queen.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Queen knows I'm in love with them, but
Yeah, that was my question. Does the Queen know?
I think let's let that emerge. Awesome.
I have another question.
Yes.
What's for dinner tonight?
Roasted guinea fowl.
oh, yum.
Ooh.
They roam the particular bit of the land we're in at the minute.
Poultry for dinner?
Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah. Over an open fire, obviously, because woods or wherever we are.
Question:
Yeah.
does the Queen eat food at this point?
I reckon she does, but she wears a special veil while she does it,
Ah.
because it's too gross for, like, other people to look at.
Yeah, I don't think I get close enough to the Queen to ever see her eat.
Oh.
No.
No chance.
I get to clean that.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have to brush her teeth afterwards or something, or change her face to a happy full face?
No comment.
This is my satiated mask. Why are some others at the royal court jealous of your relationship with the Queen? I am one of her trusted advisors.
Yes.
A royal vizier.
Do you wear a ruff?
Do you have a parrot on your shoulder? Come on, let's get all the Disney films in it.
Oh, can you speak to squirrels?
Squeak and squeak.
Yes. Best. Best. I
The
think.
spinach puffs.
That is why some of the members of the court are jealous of me, is because of I am so close to her and have such a very high level of access to her and can influence her decisions.
So you've got the Queen's ear, Marta's
do.
got the Queen's face.
Yeah.
We totally.
Yeah.
Liaise.
Ellie's got the Queen's stomach.
I want her heart.
Oh god.
Josh has got nothing.
Left out in the cold.
There's enough people in the court who think that you're that close and you have her ear and everything. From your point of view, does she actually listen to you?
Yes, she does listen to me. She doesn't always
Act on it.
act on it or actually go, yes, you're right, I'm going to do this, but she will always listen to what I have to say.
How did you get in that position?
I think there was a certain level of I am part of the nobility, as anyone of that sort of... I don't think I've sort of scrambled my way up from being a little kid on the street, but I do think there has been an element of engineering on my part to get to where I am. So I'm also a relatively formidable character in my own right. I'm not like someone who you can just bump off and replace with someone else.
Have you reached the peak of your power, do you think, or do you want to go further?
I can't get any higher in this current role. If I was looking for some sort of furthering in my job, I'd need to...
The HR would need to make some changes.
Create a new position.
You need to get even closer to the Queen and...
Oh no, I wouldn't. I don't think the only way closer would be to marry her. That would be the only
Prince
way.
consort.
Yeah.
Ellie, I have a question for you,
Oh.
if you wish to receive it.
I'm actually going to pass it on.
It's a hot potato.
I'm going to pass it on to Alec.
When was the last time the Queen embarrassed you? Before we went out on this journey? Because it's a lot of stress build up towards this journey we're going to go on. at court, she shouted at me after I offered some advice that she felt was overstepping in public, and basically publicly admonished me. To which end I felt very small.
Was the advice that you gave to do with squirrels, or was it something else?
It was just to remind her to not forget something. And she was like, of course I'm going to remember that. What are you thinking? I'm not an imbecile. Where I was just more of me trying to help out and sort of just carefully, and I whispered it to her, but she just shouted it out to everyone.
She took it as patronising
or
demeaning.
Questioning her ability.
Mansplaining, maybe.
Yeah, mansplaining.
Does this berating from the Queen happen frequently, or is it rare?
It happens at moments of great stress for her, and I take it as a point of pride that I've been able to navigate those fairly successfully over the years. But in this instance, I kind of screwed the pooch a little bit and just got shouted at in front of everyone, and it was... I obviously pretended like I was completely fine with it, but inside mortified.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah, it's just terrible workplace stuff. In your opinion, would you say then the Queen maybe is not the best at managing high anxiety situations?
Not in any sort... No, only as good or bad as anyone else is. There's no sort of like... She's not like terrible or brilliant. I think it's just a... No, I don't think like she's prone to fits of rage, but being the ruler, high stress position.
This is a high drama question, so I am going to answer it. It changes a lot of the relationship, so I wasn't sure about answering it so early in the game, but I like the drama. Okay. What makes you want to abandon the retinue? And who besides the Queen makes you stay?
Ooh, that is high drama.
Who do you like and who do you hate around the table?
In real life and then in the game.
Yes, please.
He hates all of us.
Yeah.
starts to build some connections between our characters. What makes me want to abandon the retinue? I'm scared. I think it comes down to that. I've never been outside the castle.
So you've never done a trip like this. So the cloaking thing.
All of this I've been trained in theory. I've done lots of drills. I know that I can chant the words. I've memorised them. I've read the books. I know the hand movements. I've cast the spells a million zillion times in training, and I have never been outside the castle walls before this journey.
This is a person without a passport.
Also, this means
So many questions.
we've not set off on the journey just
No,
yet.
we're on the journey right now.
So you've not had need to do it yet. Ooh, that's scary.
So it's the fear of we've stepped outside the castle walls, and I've gone, oh, this is more than I was expecting. And I immediately
That's performance fear, you know.
I want to run away.
For his extra skills.
So why have you been picked?
I don't know.
Why is the Mages Guild or the Mages people sending out a newbie to look after the Queen?
Maybe there's a because I've never been out into the horrible wilderness, I'm in some way seen as unsullied by it.
Oh.
And so you need a certain amount of shelteredness and purity and uncorrupted by the outside world as a shield against it when you go out.
He's pretty boy.
Is the belief. Yes.
He's so pretty.
Yeah.
Monsters are
Oh.
such soft wizard hands. I've never done a day's work.
Is that why?
I was going to say the bod.
Yeah. Is that why?
I want to presume.
Maybe.
Your hands are wizard, not wizened.
Who knows? Maybe what I've been told is you are the best candidate for this role because you've never been outside the castle. All our other wizards have. One of them glimpsed a thundercloud over the walls once, and therefore they aren't as defended, like they don't have the pure world view that would let them do the magic. But maybe that's not true. Who knows whether it's just propaganda or not.
Yeah, maybe they're just looking to sacrifice you.
Yeah.
Or maybe
But-
there aren't many of you around.
But from the second we went over the drawbridge and I started my cloaking chant and we started on the journey and Ellie's character drew her daggers to defend us from nasties, I was like, I've made a huge mistake with my whole life. I don't want to be here. It's scary out here.
Okay.
Who besides the Queen makes me stay is an interesting question. I feel like we don't know a lot about Josh's character yet, so I'd like to make a connection there. And I don't know if I want to put any more detail on that other than your character is the one that makes me want to stay and not run away.
Oh, you're not in love with me as well, are you, Matt?
Oh, this could get so messy. This retinue, this potential. It's just...
I've got a type and it's your family. I don't...
Queen likes pretty boy likes sister. You like the queen, you like the queen. I'm just there being like, look, I just do makeup.
It's Love Island.
Oh my god, yes.
I don't think it's romance. I don't think it's love. I think liking the princess in that way would not be enough to make me retain this post. The fear is that strong. So there has to be some... Maybe we have a long-standing prior friendship or something like that, that you are giving me the strength to stay.
Okay.
So Josh makes you feel safe.
Yeah, I think that's a nice way of summing it up.
Her Highness Princess Josh.
Sorry, Her Highness Princess.
Yeah.
HRH.
Yeah.
Princess Josh.
That's me.
Josh knows.
Because the Queen, as we know, is very icy and certainly not gentle with me. So, you've known the family for a while because you're from nobility. So perhaps there was a friendship between us because we went to the same school or, whatever it might be.
We've been to the same balls.
Yeah. Maybe I helped to convince you to join the retinue
Maybe.
if you were scared. Maybe I've promised to
I
show
don't-
you
I-
what the other worlds
The
are
world?
like.
I don't
Maybe-
think I was scared until the journey began.
Okay.
I wasn't scared to leave, but as soon as we left, I went, this is awful. Nobody's prepared me for this.
Okay.
You're a kid on their first sleepover.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait to go. Oh no, it's terrible. I want to go home.
I hate it here.
Mummy,
Yeah,
come and pick me up.
exactly.
You arranged for the Queen to be ambushed on this journey. What did they offer you?
Happy New Year, lovies! Or very nearly Happy New Year if you're one of those keen beans who listens the very day, the very moment that the episode comes out. I'm Matt. I'm your compere and one of your players for this production. I hope you really enjoyed Act 1 of Her Many Masks. This one's a bit different for us, a bit less speaking in character and a little bit more collaborative storytelling, like we're constructing this around the campfire. That's what the studio's all about. And I think it's a nice statement that we're starting the year with something a bit different and a bit strange. There will now be an interval of 2 weeks before Act 2 of 3. But to keep you going, next week we'd like to invite you backstage to overhear us discussing the background of our Queen. We took some of the art cards supplied with For the Queen 2nd edition, assembled a sort of Queen mood board, and that's where the Queen that we've been discussing in this episode first sprang from, our selection of those art cards. Also keep an eye on our Instagram if you'd like to actually get a glimpse of those art cards and the credits of the artists responsible for them. Finally, before we drop the curtain on this episode, lovies, we simply must introduce you to some dear colleagues of ours from Actual Play UK. They're called Legend of the Bones, and they're very, very different to us while still being within the realm of the actual play. Legend of the Bones is a hybrid of solo, old-school Dungeons & Dragons and dark fantasy audio drama. So if you're enjoying Her Many Masks, we at least know that you're into the dark fantasy, the Elden Ring and the Dark Souls of it all. And if you'd like the actual play element, the gameplay part of it, to be a little bit more high lethality and brutal, maybe you'd enjoy Legend of the Bones. Here they are right now to tell you a little bit more about themselves.
Do you like your tabletop RPGs to be grim, gritty, and grounded? If so, then Legend of the Bones is the podcast for you. A hybrid of dark fantasy audio drama and old-school solo D&D. In Legend of the Bones, the dice rule. There'll be no rerolls, no fudging the dice, no metacurrency. The roll of the bones will determine the character's destiny, and no one will be spared their fate. None shall escape the destiny of Bone.
This has been Her Many Masks, a studio production from Merely Roleplayers, starring Alexander Pankhurst, Marta Da Silva, Josh Yard, Ellie Pitkin, and me, Matt Boothman. I edited and produced this episode, and the theme music is by Alexander Pankhurst. We were playing For the Queen, the second edition, by Alex Roberts, published by Darrington Press at darringtonpress.com. Merely Roleplayers is a Foggy Outline production in association with Blackshaw Theatre Company. Until next time, if drama be the food of life, play on. Foggy Outline. Undivide your world.